Shut up and sit down.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Epic Fail Podcast, episode 189. For those of you watching the video or the live stream, I'm sorry, I could not help myself. I had to do it. And if you are listening via audio, you have no idea what I'm talking about, and I apologize for that reference. My name is Draven Dresden. With me is not Galv. He's got real life stuff. I don't know when or if he'll be back. Who knows? It'll be fun either way. But with me this week, hopefully with less tech issues than last time, aka 2 weeks ago, because last week I couldn't talk. That was insanely fun. We have Frazley back. Frazley!
Hello! Everything seems to be going well so far right now. No much tinkering, so I did some tinkering, and I think I got it to work. Good to see you.
Yay. Well, I'm glad it's Gnomish and not Goblin, because it would just explode.
Oh, yeah. Wait, I hear a ticking noise. Oh, okay. I think we're good.
That was your clock.
Oh, telling me that it's time for a podcast. Okay, got it.
Yep. How have you been for the last couple of weeks?
I've been good. I've been enjoying a lot of just WoW. I've not been killing horses in Skyrim, so that's been good. I am now a college senior, so at 29, I'm a college senior. Yay!
Well,
And then I got my artifact on my shaman, and I'm so sad now. The artifacts suck. I mean, they were great, but you get them and you're like, it's just all your powerful artifact. You can't increase it. I'm like, oh, great.
yeah.
They're not fun anymore. And I missed all the fun of the artifacts.
Yeah, at this point, I think it's probably better to just upgrade your heirloom and use that. But still, you're still going to get the artifact while you're leveling. But it's more of a cosmetic thing at this point.
Yeah. I think it is decked out fully, if I understand right, that when you get the artifact, it's like at its super high level until BFA.
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't leveled anyone through Legion since BFA came out. I leveled everyone prior to BFA. All 19 of them.
Well, and as Ali says, I am crazy, so this is my third alt through Legion that I'm leveling, or in BFA, this is my third alt that I'm leveling through Legion content. So,
yeah, I've completely taken a step away from leveling. I was like, I'm gonna get my main character, which I debated it really up until the last minute whether it was gonna be my Ret Paladin again or my Havoc Demon Hunter, and then I wanted to see the other side, so I got a Horde, which was gonna be my Demon Hunter no matter what, and then I was like, I picked Ret. Let's have an Alliance Demon Hunter too, because those were just so much fun. So,
and did you know you can only have one Demon Hunter per server? I did not realize that.
I didn't realize it right away either, but then I never tried. And truth be told, back when DKs came out, that was the same back then too. And I and some people I know knew of a way to get a second Death Knight on a same server. It involved transferring, like from accounts. So there were ways. Maybe they might have fixed it for Demon Hunters. Who knows? Either way, I don't recommend doing that. So don't do that. But sometimes there are ways to get more than one.
And I could see that one still being there because I mean, it does give money to Blizzard, so I could see those being
Honestly,
like
I
that.
think it was just overlooked.
Yeah.
No one's going to try to do, oh, someone did that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how about you? What have you been up to?
Oh, well, other than, like I said, not having a voice last week, that was insanely fun. I have a weekend job at a movie theater, and I got stuck at the box office, which is not outside, but it's located, like, the window to talk is outside, is to pointed outside, so people are standing outside buying tickets, and I had to keep the window thingy up, and just something in the wind or something made it, and I just couldn't talk. I was like,
Oh,
oh, and I was gonna have so much fun last week with the show. We had something, and we're not putting it in this week because it's one of those things. But in terms of fun stuff, I got to see Endgame.
yes.
I saw that Thursday night, so I was a day late watching Critical Role because I have to watch that too. And go ahead.
And did I see you showed me that amazing thing about Game of Thrones?
Oh, my death pool.
Yes.
Yeah, it was freaking huge. I was partially right. I don't want to talk about any spoilers for the 5 people on the planet, including Frazley, who haven't seen it. He doesn't care, so it's not an issue.
Yeah.
But
I'll see it at some point. I'll probably see it when I'm like 85, and I'm like, I remember back in my day, the people going crazy about this.
yeah. What I will say is, while watching it, I was completely wrapped up, and I loved every second of it, including the aforementioned Game of Thrones has the reputation of killing off main characters or just ending the character randomly. Including some of those, I was like, okay, that makes sense, all that. Half an hour later, maybe not even that far, my brain kicked in. I was like, how did some of these people survive? And then eventually I was just like, you know what? If it was any other episode, no one would have an issue with the amount of character deaths versus anything else. They'd be like, holy crap, that was a lot. But because it was this particular episode, one of the big battles of the year, it was just one of those, everyone's expectations were so high, it was just almost impossible to meet. I got over it, is what I'm saying.
I would love to see George R.R. Martin rewrite Harry Potter, because then you can say like, everybody's dead at the end. Because I mean, there were parts of Harry Potter where it seemed like everyone died. I mean, Dobby,
Yeah.
oh Dobby, but George R. Martin writing it'd be like 25% bigger because of all the descriptions of like urinals and stuff like that.
Oh my, yeah. George R.R. Martin writes Harry Potter. Some of those books are big on their own, so yeah, that would.
Yeah,
we're looking at 1,000-page tomes for like book 3 and 4.
and,
Wow.
and by the end, the only one that survives was that one character that was in the Leaky Cauldron in the first book.
Man, there'd probably be a few more, but
okay,
yeah,
that's good.
But yeah, other than that, yeah, Endgame, Game of Thrones, and work, dog sitting. I've had very little playtime in terms of games, so that's not been fun. But things happen.
Absolutely.
I'll get to play again at some point, like after the show at some point. Maybe not right away. I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been up to. I mean, I could go into more detail about the job thing and be like, yeah, based on my suggestions this week alone, and I'm still new. I'm like 5 weeks in, and just based off of my suggestions, like 3 different things have changed. For where they're like, that makes a whole lot of sense. Why didn't we think of that? I was like, that's part of what my job when I used to work at a different movie theater was think up random things and this will make things easier.
And that's the importance of listening to employees and at any job. It's good for management to listen, because you never know when an idea will change how things go. I mean, that's one thing that we always try to do, is we try to listen to what the employees say, be like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so that's that. They do things a little differently over there, but honestly, it's more of a, I saw that, like, okay. And they were surprised at some of the things that I'd never seen before, how quickly I picked up. I was like, it's computer based. I'll be fine.
Yeah. I, I did have one question because I was talking with somebody as I was leaving the movie theater once. Do you have to make sure that you see a movie before you work that theater, or have you been spoiled on movies before?
It depends. Like, okay, in general, you don't have to. Most of the time, people you might hear conversations or something like that, but most of the time, it's not major spoilers. No one has. I've never been in a theater where someone comes running out and be like, "Oh my God, Snape killed Dumbledore," that kind
Okay,
of thing.
good.
I've never had that level, but you do hear things from time to time, and that kind of thing happens. So I've been lucky. If it's something that I really don't want spoiled, I don't work until I see it. Like, I'll be like, yeah, this movie's out. I have to watch it Thursday so that I don't get spoiled on it on Friday. Kind of thing.
And, and even like the end credit scenes, you would make sure that you wouldn't be working in the theater because I know one person could not wait to see it, but they already knew the end credit because they had to clean up the theater.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just part of the job. And usually those aren't part of the movies themselves. It's just more of a, ooh, what's coming next? Which, if you have not seen Endgame, again, no spoilers, I will say there is nothing at the end of the credits.
The only thing I would say, once you see it, look up something about it, but you don't have to stay for it. So that's all I'll say.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing video related. It's a small little audio throwback.
Absolutely, and
Yeah.
it'll be great for when it's on DVD or Disney Plus. But don't. Someone said it was 20 minutes for the credits. So, I mean, the people who worked on the credits.
17 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, and at that point, well, the pee. I had to pee so bad at that point. So it's the people that worked on the movie are amazing, but we can't hold the urine in that much longer. I was literally jumping in my seat. I was like, come on, can we end the movie? I have to go.
It's a long movie. It doesn't feel like it's that long until the very end.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
it was amazing.
Yeah, it's a 3-hour movie. It feels like it's about an hour and a half to 2 hours until like the last 30 seconds. And this is not saying anything bad about the last 30 seconds. They're great too. But that's when you notice, oh, it's been 3 hours.
Yeah. And you're like, okay, come on.
Yeah.
Okay, this movie is by this person. Okay, see ya, everybody.
Yeah, the list of just the CGI people is insane, which deservedly so. There's a lot of work went into it. But we're not here to gush about Endgame or even Game of Thrones, despite the little thing here that, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that because I don't want to spoil Game of Thrones either.
We are here to gush about the end game of a couple different games, though.
Possibly in-game stuff, yeah. But we're going to start with some not in-game stuff.
Yes.
And first and foremost, obviously we have to talk about something that happened earlier today. I mean, it happened earlier this week, but the thing happened today too. Earlier this week, BlizzCon got announced. Obviously, we know, the first weekend of November, which is November 1 and 2 this week. Or this year, rather. This week. That'd be a weird one. That'd be a weird calendar.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so BlizzCon is happening. I freaking called it. I don't care what anyone said. I knew it was going to happen. Tickets went on sale earlier today. And they sold out very quickly on every level.
And did you hear the one thing that I'm sad to hear? There was a way to edit the CSS in your browser to get rid of. They had a block, and it would stop you from getting your ticket. You could edit the CSS of it, and I'm saying this because I hope they fix it before Wave 2. I hope that this is not something that's just part of AXS, and if it is, please don't do this. I'm imploring every listener, please do not do this. I think it's dishonest to bypass their system, but you can modify it to get a ticket before you're allowed to get your ticket. So that's how it sold out even faster.
I did not hear about that. I will have to do a little bit of research.
Yeah, because I've been hearing from a few different people that like someone was on, and I don't think they bought it, but it was going to let him go farther.
Yeah. I mean, for all accounts and purposes, from what I've heard, this year's system was a little bit better overall than in the past, which is great. But I mean, if you can hack your way in, that's just not fair.
No,
But
and it's one of those, especially if it's been done for different things, or maybe they wasn't known about, and Blizzard fans are just some of the smartest people out there who know how to do things, sadly, and know how to get around systems.
I mean, some of that will be there. Some of it is just people wanting to scalp,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So, pro tip: do not go to eBay or anywhere like that to get a ticket. You can look for them over on eBay, but report them because that's illegal. That's like breaking the rules of BlizzCon purchase, all that fun stuff. They're not allowed being put up on eBay. But, so yeah, it got announced. First and foremost, yay, BlizzCon. I will not be able to go unless some random person gives me a ticket. I am not expecting this to happen. I'm just stating. Just because I know there's a couple people out there that might decide to try to do it. They know who they are. But I did find one thing incredibly funny and ironic. Last year, the meme was, don't you guys have phones? This year, you actually have to have a phone to get in because you have to have the app, which they want all kinds of weird permissions. Look it up first.
I saw that.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But you have to have their app on a phone to present your ticket because your little barcode thingy-majiggy switches every so often to prevent people from like duplicating and stuff like that.
Okay, because I know, like when we went to see Hamilton, we had it on our phone, but it didn't change. Like we could add it to Apple Wallet. I wonder if this can be added to your Apple Wallet.
I doubt it. From what I heard, you need the AXS app on your phone, and then it just cycles through every couple minutes or however long. It changes your QR code so that it is less hackable. And I'm just like, that's really funny, Blizzard. You take the thing of last year that people were ticked at, one of them, and then you make it a requirement this year.
Yeah.
That's some grade A trolling.
And please use a secure and unique password. Whatever you use anywhere else, make your AXS password unique. I actually was behind. There were people that were sitting behind me at Hamilton because someone hacked their Ticketmaster because of like one of these breaches. And AXS, one of the issues with it, your ticket can be transferred from the account and it is permanent. So please be very careful with the password. I'm going to be that person just to say, everybody, please use secure and unique passwords.
Yeah, and especially for this because it's wanting a lot of permissions on your phone. If they got hacked, then they'd have access to all this other stuff. So just use a unique password for this. But you should be using unique password for everything. I know very few people actually do, but you know, I'm one of those weirdos who I have like 17 emails and 5 different Twitter accounts and all those other things, and everything has unique passwords and unique login IDs. So yeah, yay BlizzCon! But yeah, that was the basis of the title page, which is back up on the screen with the phone. I had to do it. It was I could not pass it up.
Well, it would be funny if they announced something else mobile this year.
They will. My money is on at least one mobile game that they've been working on that is not Diablo Immortal. They might put out Diablo Immortal for BlizzCon. Like they might release it to the public. I don't know.
Now, do you want to take predictions on will NetEase be the company behind it?
The new one?
Yeah.
It depends on the game. In all honesty, there's about an 80% chance it'll be NetEase because they do almost everything mobile. But
yeah,
it honestly depends on the kind of game it is. If it's like Warcraft Go, instead of Pokemon Go, it's just Warcraft Go, probably not. But if it's pretty much anything else that I can think of, it's probably going to be something NetEase related at least.
Ooh, so like Battle Pets Go. What if they worked with Niantic to then? Yeah, I'm getting into huge rumor territory. We're talking about BlizzCon itself.
Yeah. And to make things even more interesting, Blizzard has come out and said, "Oh yeah, we're not going to Europe for Gamescom this year."
Which is really interesting because they've been every year since Gamescom started.
Well, I'm pretty sure that there's two reasons for it. Number one is a money thing. They're trying to save the money everywhere they can, and going to Europe and bringing all their stuff is expensive. That might be the bigger decision maker out of everything. But the other one, the one that I'm hoping is more true than anything else, they know BlizzCon this year has to freaking rock. Like, it's got to be, like, top 3 BlizzCons ever.
Yeah.
Especially after last year. So they're going to save every announcement for BlizzCon instead of, oh, yeah, here's this thing over here. Because just saying, hey, here's Diablo Immortal, have fun, would not be enough for Gamescom. Because it makes BlizzCon look like a joke. So
The one year where Legion was announced at Gamescom stole the thunder from BlizzCon.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was stolen from BlizzCon, but I didn't have an issue with it because we got more stuff at BlizzCon, so it didn't bother me. But I understand the thought process behind it. And Alessandro is saying they do have Paris offices and stuff like that. They ship like the big statues too. Like they don't have those everywhere. So that like the Illidan statue, which is in Irvine, they would ship that to Europe, and it's a big statue. It costs some money, so it's a little more than that. But yeah, they do have stuff over there. That it would be a little cheaper for them, but they do ship worldwide their big statues and stuff. But yeah, so that was interesting. They did an earnings call recently. I gotta pull it up because I don't have it open right this moment. I didn't see anything major that were really shocking. Like we knew ahead of time that numbers were going to go down this quarter.
Yeah, because we are at the end of an expansion. We also have had the news of the layoffs, which put a sour taste in people's mouths for a little while. I mean, and we have people going to Final Fantasy and ESO. So I don't see the monthly active users going down surprising, and especially also with Heroes. We lost people with Heroes. So there's a lot of factors.
Yeah, I mean, we knew they said like back when they were letting people go, or the day that they decided to let people go, they were expecting numbers this year to go down. It has been planned for. Numbers should go back up next year because they have nothing new coming out this year. Which, okay, fine. So, yeah, I don't really see anything insanely great in terms of Blizzard. There's some Call of Duty stuff which I don't care for either way.
It is interesting that they're going with the city-based approach from Overwatch.
A lot of places are doing that. I mean, even League of Legends, while they don't do city, they do. They have teams that are based out of certain areas, but it's still just regular teams. But yeah, I don't. There's not a whole lot in this to really, Hearthstone has a new single player experience coming this month. Okay. What is it? We don't know. But beyond that, the earnings call was kind of, I don't want to say lackluster.
Is what was needed to appease the legal requirements of the stockholders.
Yeah, it's basically saying, hey, we know our numbers are down. Don't worry, we planned ahead. This year is gonna, not be insanely great in terms of our numbers. Trust us, next year will be awesome. It's basically the gist of it.
And will this season, if Classic launches this summer, if Classic brings the people in that that people are claiming will bring in, that could raise the MAUs.
It could. I don't see Classic as being as big as the fans of Classic are making it to be. Like they're screaming loud and out, to the wind so anyone can hear them. I didn't play Classic. I played Burning Crusade. Even then, it took a long time to level. I don't want to do that again. Like, I really want to raid Nax as in content because I want the freaking Corrupted Ashbringer, that version. But I don't want it enough to put the amount of time and effort it would take into Classic to do that. So, I'll try Classic. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'll try it here and there. But I don't know. I'm just finding it ironic that the Classic WoW people are like, "Oh, Heroes is a dead game," and I'm just like, they're putting out new stuff. We know where your stuff is. So it'll be decent. There are people out there that will enjoy it. It's not going to be, dead in a week or anything like that a lot of people are predicting.
Oh no, Alessandra's bringing up in chat the thing. It's about the journey. It's about the friends. It's not about having the latest content, but it's about enjoying those. So that is one of the things of Classic is it's a lot more group based, a lot more local based. And it's a lot more server realm based.
Yeah, and I 100% agree with that. I remember pre all the cool features we got now that mean that I don't have to talk to anybody unless I want to. I remember all that stuff. But I also remember being able to play a lot more at the time than I can now.
I had a lot more time
to build those friends and relationships with the guild and the server reputation and all that. I remember having to do all that stuff. And I remember how much time that takes.
Yeah, I enjoyed today. I played 2 instances of Ivashar on an alt because I forgot to turn in the end quest.
Yeah. So, I mean, time is a factor too. Yeah, it's not a race to get to the end. I understand that. But it is also a factor in my viewpoint of it, in that I just don't have the time to focus on it, that kind of thing. I got other things I got to do. There's a couple games over on GOG that aren't Blizzard that I'm like, I remember being able to play these games. I still have the discs, but I can't play them because tech has just outgrown them and they are no longer compatible to play. And I'm like, do I want to spend the money on them? Yeah, I do. Do I have the money? Not at the moment. Okay, I'll just put them in the cart and save it for later.
But there's another classic game that I think we should be talking about. So,
Blackthorn.
Oh, that'd be
Rock and Roll Racing.
Oh, I would love Rock and Roll Racing again.
I don't see that coming back anytime soon. They'd have to completely redo it. Maybe that's one of the mobile games.
Ooh, could you imagine that? And add in a little bit of the Guitar Hero thing. Do you remember the Guitar Hero 3DS game where you had the little game cartridge? Okay, I played that on 3DS.
I didn't have a 3DS. The Guitar Hero I know of was PS2. I think it was PS2. I don't remember. I think it was PS2.
Oh, PS2 was classic. And PS2
have one
is
right over here.
Mine's in the other room.
Hmm.
It's one of the heroes of the storm of consoles we had back in the early days. Heroes of the Storm. Oh, interesting game to talk about. So
Really?
Anduin
there's news in Heroes of the Storm. I thought that was a dead game.
Nope, it's still alive. It's just in maintenance. Sadly.
Yeah. Anduin came out. I still haven't logged in to even try him. I will eventually do that. Everyone is telling me he's all kinds of fun. If you like playing a holy priest in WoW, you'd like playing Anduin in Heroes. He doesn't seem like he's too overpowered, but just overpowered enough that people are like, yeah, we should probably have him on our team or ban him.
He sounds like he's ranged. He has a leap of faith, and it can pull an ally to Anduin's location.
Mm-hmm.
He has a flash heal, a divine star, so a bolt. So cool. Yeah, he can do the ranged attack and chastise. So he tells players when they're being too toxic. No, it's a light that damages and roots the first enemy hero hit.
Yeah. And I know his one ultimate is the from the Legion, or not the Legion, the BFA cinematic. He puts his hand up and the big bubble.
Oh, cool!
That's one of his ultimates. But honestly, everyone loves him for his leap of faith, which is on the D key. So you can just imagine all the memes, saved by the D and all that.
I want that D.
Yeah, and just. But yeah, he looks like he's fun. I will eventually, when I have time and motivation, play heroes, and I can buy Anduin right off the bat, so I'm not worried about that. Like, I have more than enough gold. I can just buy the hero, and I'll still have all the heroes that way. But I just haven't had time, or when I have had the motivation, I haven't had the time. When I've had the time, I haven't had the motivation. It's usually the first of those two.
And I'm not into lane-based MOBAs. It's just not my interest, but I'm glad that they are adding things to heroes.
Yeah, it's not a game for everyone. I mean, I'm not a fan of League, despite the fact that the last time I played it, I got the best score on, the best character, which is named after me.
Oh, nice!
I say he's named after me. I had the name first.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
And you are the better looking of the two likenesses.
Okay. I know a lot of people that would disagree with that, but thank you for the compliment.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure looking at your face. Okay, that's awkward. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Man,
you're probably going to hear some puppies barking. I am technically dog sitting, and it sounds like people are going to be here soon to get them.
Oh.
So, yep, I can hear it. Anyway, no biggie. Moving on, we got some Overwatch stuff too. Something called the Workshop, which is basically build a hero.
I was reading up on this. It sounds like it's creating gameplay, taking what they did with the arcade and giving you the ability to create a rule and then have an event happen. So is it hero based or is it map based? Because
it's a bit of both. A bit of both. I've only messed with the hero side of it. I've only done it once. They might have fixed it since then. I made a Bastion that shoots bobs.
Nice.
Because screw the enemy team.
Yeah. Because they had an example of molten floor that that the heroes take damage when they're on the ground. To use the meme from a couple years ago.
Yeah, I only did the one thing. I wanted to see how ridiculous, and the first thing I thought of was, okay, Bastion has the highest rate of fire. What can I do to Bastion? I could increase the damage. That would, No. Every bullet's a bob. Runs forward, and when he hits something, he just turns and fires. Every bullet. 300 bobs out on the field at once. Because screw the enemy team.
So then you'd be the last Bastion. Facepalm.
I pick Moira for whenever I'm in the Storm's Rising thing, just for that spray.
Hey, I have to make you facepalm at least once per episode. That's kind of my stock and trade.
I kind of have to facepalm at least once per episode. It's at this point. It's like the tradition of, do you have any last words? No, for the show. Not in general. At the end.
Yeah.
It's kind of just one of those things. It's a tradition.
I hope I wouldn't have this be the last thing I ever did in my life. I mean, I love this show, but I would want to go down streaming WoW or something like that.
I mean, eventually, I know what's going to happen is someone's going to say something. I'm just going to double facepalm.
Yes.
And be like, why me?
Oh no, and Ali's goal is to not facepalm sometime. Okay, so I got to try harder.
Anyway, we should probably talk a little bit about WoW.
Yes, which is definitely not a dead game. At least to me, it's not a dead game.
And I mean, it's been dead since, I don't know, 2008. It's been dead, but for some reason it's still going. So we got the world first race for Crucible of Storms. I didn't see Method stream this one. Which, if it's only 2 bosses, I didn't figure we'd get too much out of it. It lasted a lot longer than I expected, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm betting they're saving for either the next...
The Ashara raid.
Yeah, because streaming that is a lot of work, too, because you have to...
Commentators and...
Yeah. And even when I'm streaming a game, I'm a lot more on... It takes a lot more out of me when I'm doing something streaming versus if I'm just playing a game and not have to worry about
well, I mean, we're not actually watching them play. We're watching the gameplay, and that's it. We're not really seeing them play most of the time. We're not watching them on camera. They did, Method, have a chat show, like their own little podcast about it, which was interesting. I caught a couple minutes here and there, but I didn't catch a whole lot because I've been freaking busy. I just saw that and I was like, huh. Interesting.
Well, and it's a good way to recruit new Method players.
Maybe. I don't think they really have a problem with recruiting except for the quality of player they want.
That's true.
But, I mean, I could apply to Method. I know what would happen. They'd look at me and laugh. And they'd be like, no.
I wouldn't even try because I would be...
Yeah, there's no reason for someone like me or you or anyone in my raid teams. There's one person in my raid team that might have a chance. Might. And even then I'm kind of like, really? But they'd have a chance out of anybody. And that's our rogue. We call the rogue World Killer because she's always freaking top DPS and usually by a lot. It's annoying.
I'm usually low DPS, so see? Hey! I balanced it out.
Yay! But yeah, Method got world second, which means there was a world first, and it wasn't Method. There's a European guild that I had not heard of, or at least not taken seriously, and they're called Pieces. And they got world first, I believe, by a couple of hours over Method.
Yeah, and they're on Draenor. They were this is off Raider.io. They were a world 12th for Emerald Nightmare, world 10th for Trial of Valor, world 14th for Nighthold, 23rd for Tomb Sargeras, and then 6 for Enterus and 5 for Odir. So they've been stepping in their game up.
Yeah,
they're significantly.
Overall, they're between a top 10, top 20 guild in the world. That's fine. I've just never thought that I'd see them get a world first, so I never really paid much attention to them. So congrats on you guys.
Yeah.
Making Method look like chumps by a couple hours. I mean, not chumps, but... And as far as I know, they're the only 2 still so far that have done it. I have not had time to check today, but last I checked, they were the only 2. So congrats on you guys. And if you have any tips that my raid team who is trying to do heroic can have, feel free to pass them along because that would be great.
Well, I'm seeing on their site that every member has to eat Reese's Pieces.
Oh, well, I'm out. I'm not a fan of peanut butter, so.
I'm out too.
Yeah,
I love peanut butter.
Yeah, I can do the chocolate, just not the peanut butter. Anyway, we normally don't cover the events in game, but there's a couple things this week. It's Children's Week, which means you get your little orphan and you take them around the world, take them into a battleground, and slaughter people will get slaughtered. General, be a good impression for the youth of Azeroth.
Yeah.
Yeah, just give them candy, give them ice cream, go slaughter some people. In general, just wholesome fun.
Because, war is the answer.
Yeah. Well, there's new pets. There's like 4.
Ooh.
There's 4 new pets. So that means you have to run it 4 times on 4 different characters. And it's not huge. It doesn't take forever, but I'm gonna have to do it because I'm up to date on all the pets.
Mr. Krabs, Beakbert, Froglet, and Scaly.
Yeah. There's a couple of them in there that I would say most people would say are cute. I would say they'd make good distractions. Yes.
Oh, Froglet looks so interesting. It's not easy being green.
Yeah, chat rooms, Aleandros of Dungeon Fables, go listen. Wants the frog pet to go with her frog mount. So that makes sense.
And they've added orphans to Kultiris and Zandalar.
Yep. So that's fun too. But yeah, honestly, that's the reason you do Children's Week is you get the pets. I remember when everyone wanted the Willy with one eye because of the memeableness of it. And it's been so long, no one cares anymore. But I remember when that was a funny thing. Because everyone that plays WoW is 12.
I get it now. Okay.
Yeah. Moving on away from Children's Week, we got some classic WoW news. Much to no one's surprise, the character limits for Classic WoW will not interfere with the character limits of Live WoW. I don't know of anyone who thought this is going to be a thing that they have to worry about. But they came out and said it just to be sure, in case there was those 1 or 2 people that thought, oh, do I have to delete my live characters to play Classic? No, you don't. In all likelihood, Classic WoW is going to get its own icon on the Battle.net launcher.
Yeah, and I think it was either you or somebody I was talking with about that it's probably going to be its own data set too, so it's probably not going to share data.
Yeah, it's going to... it'll be like, with how the game is, it has retail, PTR, that kind of thing. It'll probably be in that, but it'll be like, instead of retail, PTR, it'll be like Classic, and it's going to be a huge file, but, only for Classic, so it won't be that big.
Yeah, because I was thinking otherwise it would restrict WoW retail and the Classic if they had to share the same data. Because I think Classic is off 7.2.5 or something like that. One of the 7 branches of code, and we're already at almost to 8.2 code.
Yeah, so the one thing in Classic I would like them to do, and I know I'm probably in the minority, is update the graphics to everything is current level graphics. But everything in the game is the same otherwise. And I know that isn't Classic WoW, and I know I'm in the minority in thinking that. But I just want them to update all the old zones for live, too. So that's my... use Classic as the excuse.
Oh, yeah. I would love that, too, to be able to, like... If the code worked, it'd be cool to go to different zones in retail and have it turn into the Classic zone. And stuff like that.
Oh, no, I didn't mean like that. I meant the trees look like current graphic-wise trees instead of, oh, look, I can count the pixels on that tree.
Oh, yeah, that's not going to happen. But I did remember during the Classic keynote, they are going to fix it. In Classic, they found a couple technical glitches. Like they found one place where the lighting should not have been how it was. So they're going to be very careful where they do that. But there are a few places where the code messed up, and they didn't run back and redoing it. So there'll be a few.
Yeah, there's a couple. I remember seeing candles.
Yeah,
and lamps and stuff that they were fixing.
Yeah, and because like the light was supposed to shine one way, and it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean that kind of thing. Yeah, it's not a problem. It's not going to be exactly classic as it was, but it'll be close enough and hopefully better for those kind of things.
And they said like you get 10 characters per realm, you get 50 on your classic account, and on PvP realms you can only have one faction. So similar things to what we used to have.
Yeah, how it used to be. Yeah, I'm fine with all that. They mentioned some loot rules, which is going to be, hey, whatever they were at the end of Classic, that's what the loot's going to be. So you're not going to be like, oh, for this patch it's going to be this patch is going to be little, it's not. They're not doing that. It's going to be whatever it ended up as. That's what it is the entire time.
Which I mean makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense to me. More things that aren't shocking to me.
And like I think they said they are or they aren't going to mediate loot issues like if somebody.
Yeah, they're not having the, hey, this person stole loot, and you'll be like, sucks to be you, doesn't it? Next time you be the loot master.
How much did they mediate loot? Because I remember my guild actually broke up its first administration over DKP, and did they mediate a lot of loot rules in Classic?
I never had a loot issue prior to Kata.
Okay.
So I don't know, and I'm just saying Kata because that's when the world changed.
Yeah.
The one thing I did have happen was in Wrath, my Death Knight got stuck on a load screen for the Argent Tournament dungeon. I could not play my character because that was what I was leveling, or I was gearing up or something. I don't remember. But I couldn't play that character at all. I'd log in, and it would go to the load screen, log out. I could log into everything else. I disabled all my add-ons. I got rid of, did you delete your WTF and cache folders? I did all of that. And finally I contacted them, and, it took a little while. It took like a day. It happens. And person contacted me, the chat bar and all that. And they're like, okay, can you log out of this character and then log into that character? And then when that happens, I will be able to move your character out of the login screen. Okay. And I'm thinking, great, they're going to put me right outside the door. No, they put me in Orgrimmar because it was a Horde character. And I'm just like, that was helpful, but not the level of helpful I was hoping for.
Yeah.
That's one extra click I had to do, man. That just sucked. Unacceptable. No, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was one of those, wow, this is what Orgrimmar looks like as a Death Knight. Huh. Haven't been here in a while. Next.
I do miss when GMs could appear in the world. That was a cool thing. There were a couple times where
they still can. They still can. They just don't. They only do it for the special events and usually on PTR only. Simply because if they start doing it, people are going to be like, well, how come they got it and I didn't? So they just stopped appearing.
That makes sense.
But they still can, because that is how Blizzard watches World First Race.
Oh.
Do not ask me why or how I know that, because I am not allowed to answer.
I've heard that. I have heard. I forget what podcast I was listening to, but somebody talked about how they hear from a raider that they were somewhere in the distance. You see somebody just sitting, and you're like,
oh, they don't have to be visible. They can be invisible. They can be flying without a mount. I mean, different levels of GMs have different permissions. Like the one-touch death. Not all the GMs can do that, but.
Oh, now I'm just tinkling. I those times when I'm somewhere and I think I'm alone. I think I'm alone now, but I feel like somebody's watching me.
Yeah. But yeah, people have been saying, they're being watched. Yeah. But how I know why and how they are doing that has nothing to do with those other raiders. That's why I cannot say how and why I know.
Draven actually works for Blizzard as a GM, and he just can't say anything.
No, I actually kind of wish I did, but well, maybe. It depends. Is it layoff season? I'm sorry. I'd be like, wait, no, I can't. I don't have a phone.
Oh,
Anyway,
I think with that, we'll move on to the next bit of news.
yeah, we
So,
should probably move on.
if you want the Water Strider, at least you want the discount mount gear, this is the perfect time to do it because we have time walking that it's here. Well, or time walking's happening right now. But
Miss Time Walking is going on now. I helped another podcaster, Garrett from ITN and Angry Chicken. He plays WoW too. And he was streaming WoW and he was doing time walking. I was like, hey, I got my Demon Hunter. I can help you out. Like, yeah, sure. I went and I helped him. I ran a couple with him and then I was like, okay, I just got a call. I got to go to work. Bye. I'm sorry. But yeah, farm your time walking badges now. Because for one, Mist dungeons are way better than Warlords dungeons. I don't think anyone's going to argue that. I mean, someone will, but whatever. I don't want to do Warlords dungeon. It is too soon, in my opinion, to put Warlords on time walking. Then again, I have a really bad taste in my mouth from Warlords, and it's going to take another expansion or two for that taste to go away. But the time walking badges don't go away at the end of the time walking week. So you can farm and farm and farm and farm and farm, and when you get enough, you can go straight to the vendor and buy the time walking mount for that expansion.
even if it's not the current time walking?
No, like you have to, like if you want the Warlords time walking one, you have to wait until it's Warlords time walking week, and then you'll probably have to go to, I don't even know where they're gonna put it. Probably, God, I don't even know because we were separate.
Probably the Ashran or the Storm Shield.
Yeah, it'll probably be your little Ashran zone, or maybe it'll probably be in somewhere in Tanan. Who knows? But you can go to that vendor and be like, hey, I have all these tokens. Please give me mount. Or, or the pet, or whatever transmog, or, there's all kinds of things. But we do know there is a mount coming. It's one of those goofy looking bulls. Bull rhino thingies.
I just realized next expansion we'll be getting Legion time walking. Wow.
It's too soon.
Yeah.
I mean, Legion, I was fine with the Legion dungeons. It's still too soon for time walking. But that is a personal opinion. Feel free to quote me on it, but it is a personal opinion.
And it also feels like it's too soon for a mount that just appeared I know where you're going. It's not. I was fully expecting it by now. Like before now. But yeah, that boat that doesn't swim, like it doesn't float on water, which I could not. Blizzard, thank you. That is the greatest thing ever, because I didn't get it. There's a boat that doesn't float on the water. It'll fly, but it sinks. What's it called? The Dreadwake? Yeah.
That thing from like last year when you buy 6 months of game time, get this mount for free. It's on the store, $25, which is a shock to no one who pays attention. That's kind of the theme of the show, a shock to no one if they're paying attention.
Probably the only shock is like we didn't get Tyrion's Charger again after.
That one was a special for Diablo 3 for the 1 year sub. I'd like it if it came back because I signed up for that and then my computer died for a long time. So I had to call them up and be like, hey, I need to turn that off. So I lost Diablo 3 and that mount. Whatever. But I'm a mount collector, so that's a mount that I can't get now. I'm just like,
yeah, I even tried about a year ago. They put it up in the one store. It was redeemable onto the United States, and I actually did it, but then they immediately took it away from everybody who tried it because it was not intended. But it was one of those you could buy you could buy it for your account from another store, and I hey
Yeah.
it was one of those I figured it was worth a try.
I mean, honestly, I won't use it anyway, but it's just another tick on the counter
Yeah.
for me. So, oh well, it'll be fun. Yeah, the boat that doesn't float is in the store. It's on my list. I do want it because I think eventually they will make it float, and even if not, it's a flying ship. I'm okay with that.
Well, and it's cool whenever you get on it goes ding ding. I mean, I love whenever
And honestly, with mount equipment, it's not going to matter that it doesn't float because it will.
Yeah, true.
Instead of fixing the mount, they're fixing all the mounts.
It'll be a hover ship.
Oh yeah, Blizzard. Can you make it so that it actually just is a boat that it just kind of a little bit into the water?
Yes, Blizzard, please.
That I mean, normal speed, but it just goes in the water like a normal boat. That'd be great. Cool. And last on the list, I had so Frazley has access to the show notes. Anyone else doesn't. So you're not going to understand this right away. But yet again, it was another thing. I could not resist putting this in the way I did. So Blizzard banned some people because people were changing the in-character models to look more I'm going to say realistic in terms of like certain things, but they don't like that. Like certain female characters and certain armor sets that may or may not look like freaking bikinis. You know where I'm going with this. Some people had some add-ons and some software to change it to make it look a little more quote-unquote real, more accurate. Well, they got banned. But Blizzard removed the bans and gave them warning saying, stop doing this or you will be banned. So in my show notes, literally, and Frazley can confirm, it says ban for boobs.
Yep. And Blizzard realized it was a hitty thing to do, so they had to undo it. Now, I kind of get why they did it, because if I could be in PvP and I could say, hey, I want to make Draven like the size of like New York City and like the Empire State Building, so I can go right to Draven because Draven's a healer or something. I should know what you play and I forget, short memory. But I could see with injecting these models, I can make whatever I wanted to. It was the same thing with within Halo. In Halo, people would do this all the time back when that was a big multiplayer thing.
Yeah, no. Those kind of things, yes, you get banned for. The ones where it's only your own character and it's literally just what you see, I don't have an issue with it, but at the same time, I understand why Blizzard would, because it's like, this is our intellectual property. We have to protect it, because if we don't get to keep the intellectual property.
Yeah.
So, it sucks, but I don't personally have an issue with the quote-unquote more realistic version being used, as long as it's a self-only thing. Like, you see your character that way, but I also don't care enough about the pixelated version of my character that, oh, look, my character looks like she has bigger boobs now. Giggity. No, I don't care. I don't see it that way.
Now,
so I don't understand, but whatever.
My friend Capo posted a picture of somebody taking a model viewer and showing a naked gnome, and I'm like,
Eh,
it was one of the most entertaining things
yeah.
ever.
Now there are glitches out there that everyone's gonna be like naked, or in WoW's case, the girls will have like the bikini bra and the bikini bottom, and the guys will have the boxers on or whatever. That's not the naked glitch. There is a naked glitch out there. There's an add-on for it that does it too. I really wish I didn't know that, but you can make every character look naked. I don't understand the reason for that. I mean, if you're a teenager and that's what you're into, no shame, but I don't get it. That's just me. I'm more of a in real life kind of guy, I guess. This makes more sense. But, people can be into whatever they're into as long as they're not harming anybody else, even unless it's consensual. And then, that's another thing entirely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I believe we have run through all the fun topics that we have for the week. I had more, but 2 weeks of notes, and some of the stuff wasn't really applicable anymore. So, do you have anything else show related before we start closing down for the night?
I would say it's been an interesting time. I'm excited to see where stuff is going. The only thing I'm a little perturbed with at Blizzard is I've never liked the add-ons at conventions, theme parks, amusement parks. Like, I've never liked those. So the Portal Pass, I don't like as much. But that's me.
Yeah, I'm keeping my thoughts on it. Like, all I'm going to say about this new system, I'm glad it's working. If you want to go and you're willing to spend it, feel free. It's your money, not mine. That being said, after last year, I felt it was wrong to increase the price and do all this new weird things this year. But get the trust back, then skyrocket the prices.
Yeah, and I'm more okay with charity events. The people who pay money for charity, I'm okay giving them extra perks. They put a lot of money to charity doing something like that. It's the in between tier that it's. But then again, I'm saying I would not buy the Portal Pass because that's a lot of extra money, and for me to go to BlizzCon, I'm looking at $1,000-$2,000 already with everything involved. So I don't want to add more cost onto what I'm doing.
Yeah, I don't have the money. I would, unless I had an absolute excess of money that I had saved for a very specific reason, I'm going to stick with the low end ticket, not the mid end. Charity dinner, I don't think I'm ever going to have that much money, but not for the ticket anyway. I know there's extra stuff, but it just, the price versus what it's shown to give us, it doesn't equal. And hopefully they do a virtual ticket again, because that would be nice, because I would actually like to see these things. If they don't, opening ceremonies are still free.
And there will be a virtual ticket. They said so much in at the end, because I'm team virtual ticket.
I will be team virtual ticket again this year, unless don't do this, but unless someone gives me a ticket and buys a plane ticket, probably. Oh, maybe I'll do that. I don't know. It depends. There's too much up in the air.
I hear that. I'm the same way. This year was the year I was looking at it, and it's not working.
I really wanted to go this year because I've never been there for a WoW expansion. And I have a feeling this year is going to be the Old God expansion coming up.
Oh, I'm thinking the Rise of Nomergon.
No, maybe the Fall of Nomergon.
Okay. Hey, if Nomergon's somewhere in it, I'm happy. I'm good.
Yeah. The Fall of Nomergon, and Ironforge, and Stormwind, and Orgrimmar, and Thunderbluff, and
It's the end of the world as we know it, and I
see,
feel
you
fine.
can't do that because last time you sang, it completely screwed everything up. You're blaming it on your router, but
It was my voice. It cannot contain me.
all right. So with that, we'll move on to our shout-outs, contact info, and all that. So, 1, do you have any shout-outs? 2, how do people get a hold of you on the internet?
I want to give a shout out again. They're in chat, but Allie, just always putting a smile on my face. Always just there's someone I go to and I have questions on things like that. So they constantly are getting those DMs like I'm writing show ideas by and they're my constant encouragement. So Allie, I hope you have a huge smile on your face because you are amazing and you are my creative Red Bull. And then energy drinks, stuff like that. So it keeps me hyper. And I was hyper on my birthday. All
Okay.
that sugar. And then you can find me every week at gnomepodcast.com. And that's where I'm on Frazlecast talking with different guests from the week. And I'll be having you on in the future. So
At some point.
yes.
At
So
some point.
it'll be this show, but over there and all that.
And how do people get a hold of you?
You can find me at Frazley.com and at Frazley-tastic. Oh, and shout outs to Taryn Gregory too. I just saw that Taryn's in the chat. I want to
here.
say,
Holy crap.
You are awesome.
Guys, look,
for gnomes?
Look professional.
Okay. Hold up, pinky up for the tea.
Yeah. For the audio listeners, we got hosted, and then someone from Blizz showed up in our chat room, so we're freaking out right now, man. We're freaking out, man.
Oh, and Tarsh from CTR. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm just trembling right now.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, how do people get a hold of you?
You can find me at Frazley-tastic on Twitter and at Frazley.com. And I'm in the Epic Fail Discord. I'm everywhere.
All right. As for me, I'm going to do contact info first. And I'm sorry for the people coming in for Turret's host. We are just ending. I'm sorry. But honestly, you're not missing much. Getting hold of me is easiest by going over to Twitter at Draven Dresden. As long as you are polite and civil, or any variation of those two words, basically don't be a jerk. Really. I can have a conversation. And if you're Taryn, you can feel free to, hit me up whenever you want for any, video ideas. I know this is never going to happen. I am not going to hold you to this. But because I see your name, it just popped in my head. In terms of shout-outs, I was going to have 2 shout-outs, but now I have 3 because I have to give a shout, 4. Turarts and Taryn I have to give special shout-outs to because they're just cool. I actually met Taryn in 2015. I'm sure he doesn't remember me, which is perfectly fine. I wouldn't remember me either. And half the time I don't because, crazy in the head. And as for my 2 shout-outs I had prior to, I cannot give any names because that would be spoilers to both Endgame and Game of Thrones. So if you are aware of those 2 properties and how they go, you know where those 2 shout-outs are going. Thank you. Good job. And that is all.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I know one of them.
Yeah. As for things I gotta plug, because that's the thing I gotta do. Patreon for the show. Patreon.com/podcastepicfail. $1 a month, $2 a month, $5, $20, $10, $100, $2,000, whatever you want, if anything. It's not even required. It really does help. It keeps the lights on more than you possibly know. Finally. Eventually I will get around to talking about that reason. But until then, thank you. I will think you're crazy for doing it, but I will thank you nonetheless. And my hands don't make the little heart shape, so I'm not going to do that because it would just look like a deformed, I don't know, ostrich face. I don't know. Random thought. We have a Discord, bit.ly/epicfail Discord. Come say hi. Frazley, you can find links to his shows. Allie, you can find links to her show, Dungeon Fables. Highly recommend. On occasion, you won't see Taryn in there, which is fine. He's busy. But you'll see links to some of his stuff, which you'll probably find via his Twitter anyway, so whatever. But, everything, if you want everything all condensed in one spot, good place to look. As for the opening theme music, it is from bensound.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0, aka give them credit, use their stuff, everybody happy. So now, as is tradition, Frazley, I mentioned this earlier before because, tradition. Do you have any last words?
Yes.
For the show, not forever. I'm not gonna
Okay, good. Ointment, pickle juice, aardvark, and pizza.